Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Game Time YouTube channel. My name is Joe, and I am your host. K-State football coming at you today. Post-game analysis of the game this Saturday versus Texas Tech in Lubbock. K-State gets the victory, winning by a final score of 38-21. K-State now 2-1 in conference play, 4-2 overall. All right, guys, it was good to see K-State get back into the win column this week after a subpar performance versus Oklahoma State last week. All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room, though. Big story of this game. True freshman quarterback Avery Johnson gets significant playing time in this game and plays a hell of a game. All right, 5 rushing touchdowns in this game. Huge game, okay? Both quarterbacks got significant play, okay, but Avery Johnson played most of the second half and scored every touchdown of the game, okay, for Kansas State. Huge game for Avery Johnson. All right, so, hey, quarterback controversy? Hell yeah. Yes, there definitely is a quarterback controversy in Manhattan right now, and I don't know who's going to start next week, but let's just talk about it, okay? So we got Howard and we got Johnson, okay? So what we do know is that Will Howard, he's played so well for K-State. Wins a Big 12 championship last year, stepped in for an injured Adrian Martinez, and played his butt off. Hell of a passing quarterback. We saw that in the second half of the season. He really sold himself well, okay, last year. Now, here's what I'm seeing, okay? You've got a passing quarterback in Will Howard, and you've got what we've seen now to be a running quarterback in Avery Johnson. We don't really know how well he can throw the ball, but he really hasn't had an opportunity to do that due to play calling and such. But this is what we see, okay? The coaches have primarily used him as a running threat. Last year, Will Howard's success and any throwing quarterback success, okay, is predicated on a receiver play. You got to have good receivers. You got to have athletic receivers. You got to have receivers able to get open in order to catch the passes that you throw to them. So look at last year, okay? We had Adrian Martinez in there, primarily a running quarterback. Now we had Deuce Vaughn, okay, obviously Deuce Vaughn, running back. He's gonna get the bulk of the carries, and the offense is going to pretty much run through him. Okay, so I think last year we were looking at an offense that started off as a run-heavy offense, and I think we saw that. Okay, most of the passes went to Deuce Vaughn. All right, and you didn't really see the receivers like a Cade Warner or a Malik Knowles from last year really get involved in the offense until Will Howard took over. When Will Howard took over, you saw the passing game explode. All right. We had elite receivers last year. We just didn't have the quarterback to deliver the ball to them. Okay. So basically, Will Howard was able to thrive in that environment because he was able to throw the ball and he was able to hit these receivers that were open. All right. So Will Howard has a huge year, Big 12 championship, and the story continues, okay? So this year, now what we're seeing is the offense not have as many receivers, okay? RJ Garcia is turning out to not really be an elite receiver. I think that Jaden Jackson, he's not really there, okay? Keegan Johnson, honestly, I think Keegan Johnson is still hurt. All right, they're saying he's 100%, but if he's got a hamstring injury, hamstrings are nagging injuries. They don't go away easily. Honestly, if he's got a hamstring problem, it's something that's going to be a problem for him throughout the year. Very difficult to heal. Okay, you think you're doing well, and then you make one wrong move, and that hamstring is hurting again. Okay, it's strained again. So I think he's still hurt. So all we really have is Ben Sinnott and Phillip Brooks. That's all we really have as far as receivers go. So not having those elite receivers this year makes Will Howard much less effective. The receivers aren't open. What are you going to do? He can run the ball, but he's not a run first kind of quarterback. That's not his forte. He wants to throw the ball. And that's what you want him to do, because we've seen him excel in that type of offense. But now this year, what we're seeing is we don't have the elite receivers. It's going to be difficult for a Will Howard to excel in this offense. We see it in these last few games. We're definitely run heavy. Okay, this game showed it 100%. Okay, there were 18 passes in this game, 47 rushing plays. Okay, so clearly this offense has transitioned to a run-first offense. And because of that, honestly, I think Johnson has to be the guy. I think Johnson has to be the guy. The only way it makes sense for Will Howard to really play significant minutes is if our receivers can step up, or if we're playing a team that we can get open against. Okay, that has a weak secondary, and we're able to get open. That's where we put a Will Howard in. But if we're going to play that Adrian Martinez style offense like we saw at the beginning of last year, we need a running quarterback, and I think we need an Avery Johnson. All right. So, quarterback controversy, yes. I honestly think that it needs to be Avery Johnson running this offense. He's definitely got the talent to run the ball. I think we need to see what he can do in the throwing game. We need to see that. But honestly, in the offense that I think that we'll probably need to have due to the lack of talented receivers, we're just going to need to throw the ball to keep the defense honest. A defense is going to make you beat them with the passing game. And we have to at least be able to threaten them in the passing game. All right. So if Avery Johnson can hit a few guys in the passing game, get a couple of big chunk plays, get Phillip Brooks in there, get Sennett open, and at least hit a few passes in a game, then we need him in there because we need his running ability. That's what's going to win us the game. That's what's going to win us the game. Last year we had it nice because we had the running game and the passing game. Soon as Will Howard got in there and was able to throw the ball, oh man, Big 12 championship. Big 12 championship, okay? Because we had Deuce Vaughn running the ball, and then we had Will Howard able to throw the ball. Teams can't stop that. Any offense that can run and throw well, okay, at a high level, at an elite level, I mean, that's a top-notch team. I mean, those teams are very difficult to beat. Okay, you add in at least an average to decent defense, and you're talking conference championships. Okay? Most teams are going to have, either a good passing game and a subpar running game or vice versa, and they're going to use the other to open up their strength. And I think that's the position that K-State's in right now. K-State, if you don't have elite receivers, I don't care what level of quarterback you have, you're not going to be able to throw the ball. You're just not going to be able to throw the ball. So I think K-State has to rely on the running game, open up the running game with the passing game, okay? And then that running game with our two running backs, Trayshawn Ward and DJ Giddens, all right, 1-2 punch. You add in Avery Johnson, and I think you can go pretty far, okay? Conference championship, I don't know, because, teams are going to know what you're doing. All right. Teams understand this. Look, they're going to run the ball. We're going to make them beat us with the passing game. And our offense has to be able to have some semblance of a passing game, something that keeps those linebackers and safeties from loading the box, something. Okay. And if we can do that, then I think we'll be more successful than having, a passing quarterback in there. I'm sorry, Will Howard. I think just because the receivers aren't to the level that we need them to be. It's not that Will Howard's not a great quarterback. It's just the team surrounding him requires him to be something that I don't think he is, which is a more athletic, mobile quarterback. I think we're going to have to go with Avery Johnson. I just do. I think that's what we need to do. We'll see how it goes. So let's talk a little bit about the game. All right. Texas Tech actually hung in there quite well. They actually had more total yardage than K-State did. Texas Tech had 480 yards, almost put 500 yards on K-State. Texas Tech played a very good game. I think the fact that they threw 3 interceptions was that changed the game. That was the game changer for them. But without those 3 interceptions, the game would have been a lot closer. In the third quarter, Jake Strong threw his first interception, and Avery Johnson came in next play and scored the touchdown. I mean, on a nice run. I got to give it to this kid. He's a running back. He has the vision of a running back, and he's a quarterback. If you saw this run, he made a cut and hit the hole like a running back, and he's got a juke to him. He's quick. We can definitely use that in the running game. He's really going to be a second running back on the field. We're going to have a running back in there with the Giddens and a Ward, and then we're going to have him in there. It really opens up that running game. He really has the vision of a running back. If we can see what he can do in the passing game, if he can throw the ball, oh man, I mean this is going to be a crazy offense here. We just got to get these receivers open. We just got to get them open. That's ridiculous. If we get one or at least one of those guys to become a deep threat, this kid could change the game here. So let's talk about some stats. Will Howard didn't have a bad game. We didn't throw the ball that much, but he went 6 of 9 for 86 yards. We just didn't throw the ball. We really reverted to the running game in this game. Avery Johnson goes 8 of 9 for 77 yards. Again, decent passing yardage, but we just didn't throw the ball. We went with the running game. But that's, like I said before, that's the offense that I think we're going to because our receivers aren't elite. Ben Sinnott had a decent game with 6 receptions for 72 yards. He was our top receiver. I think that's what we're seeing. Ben Sinnott, Phillip Brooks, those are the 2 guys that can get open. And I think that's what we're seeing. Trayshawn Ward had a very, very good game. He went over 100 yards, 118 yards. I think we saw a nice 1-2 punch with him and Johnson in there. He excelled with the threat of Johnson as a runner. We saw that wrinkle, and that was nice to see. Also saw Keegan Johnson. They ran a jet sweep for him. And I think that's something that we probably need to do more. If he's a good athlete, we need to get the ball to him. If we can't get it to him in the passing game, then let's get him started in the running game, like jet sweeps, reverses, and things like that. He got one jet sweep there, 1 carry for 13 yards. Let's get him in there. I think that may increase his confidence. Put the ball in his hands. And hopefully opens things up in the passing game. And let's get him the ball. If he's an athlete and he can run, he's fast, he's quick, get him the ball. I think that was a nice play. Hopefully we see more of those. The defensive line, we're really not getting. We're getting pressure. I'll call it light pressure on the quarterbacks, but we're not really getting there. Not very many sacks coming out of this defense. Quarterbacks generally have time to throw the ball. Even when we blitz, we really never get to the quarterback. At times, yes, but not the same as previous years. I'd really like to see that D-line put more pressure on quarterbacks. That's something that I think we're missing in this defense. I think that's why offenses have been able to move the ball pretty regularly against this defense. We've just not been able to put pressure on the quarterback. We can stop the run. I think we're good at stopping the run, and that's something that we've hung our hat on. But the passing game, we haven't really been able to put pressure on quarterbacks. Our secondary has been banged up. Jacob Parrish got picked on quite a bit in this game. I think the Texas Tech offense realized that he probably wasn't 100%, and they picked on him. I think, we've got some backups in there. I think that secondary needs to improve. Between that defensive line getting pressure on the quarterback in the secondary, I think teams realize that they can throw the ball on us. And that's what happens a lot. You see a lot of teams just go ahead and, they're going to beat us with the passing game. I think that's what they're trying to do. Next week, okay, we got TCU at home. All right. We're kind of sitting at that log jam of one-loss teams in the Big 12 right now. We'll see who breaks out of that. TCU sitting at 2-2 in the conference right now. They've got wins against Houston and BYU, and they've lost against West Virginia and Iowa State. They just blew out BYU this past week, 44-11. So they're coming off a strong performance, and they'll be ready to play. Again, I think, K-State, I think we got a quarterback controversy there in Manhattan. To be honest, I really, really think that Johnson should probably play. Okay, I think Avery Johnson should be the starter. I really do. I do like Will Howard. I think he's a very good quarterback. I just think the offense has changed. All right, since he was successful last year, we've lost that elite receiver level. Okay, I think we didn't realize how good a Cade Warner and a Malik Knowles were. Okay, and even a Deuce Vaughn out of the backfield in the passing game. Missing those guys is a problem for Will Howard. I think that's totally changed his game. That's totally changed his effectiveness. And he's quite less effective as a quarterback without that level of talent. And I think we see it. So we'll see. Hey, we'll see how it goes. Maybe both guys will get in like this game. But honestly, I think we need to go with Avery. So, all right, guys, that's all I got for today. Thanks for listening.